Hi, nice back here again with another inbox review for you, and this time we're looking at Eduard's new boxing of the Rufe. So basically this is the Zero with a float or a couple, 3 floats, okay? Now, once this kit got released or got mentioned, I really wanted. I absolutely love the look of flying boats, hence why I got the PBY the other day. But this one, I think it was a little bit of a shock to everybody, to be quite honest. But yeah, it looks really interesting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different markings of this dual boxing. Okay, so it's a dual combo, so you get 2 kits in there. And yeah, just quick look around, it looked really nice. So what we'll do, we'll get you over into the instructions and we'll get started. So yeah, here's the Rufe, the instruction sheet. So with this you get the 2 kits, you get foot wedge for both, you get mast for both, and you get the decal options for 8, I believe it is. So we'll just get cracking straight away. Got a little bit of quite a bit of a spiel in here about it. That's quite an interesting photo up there. Okay. A few more bits and pieces, which I always like to read these just before I start to build, to get me in the mood, inspirations. Okay. Before we then move into the actual kit itself. So there we've got a sprue mat, and then we've got colours, aqueous and Mr. Colour. Before we then move on to starting to build the actual kit itself. So we start with putting bits and pieces on the fuselage walls, before then moving on to looking at doing the rudder pedals, the seat, putting all those bits and pieces together with the bulkhead, the sidewalls, control column, for then putting it all together, putting some of the photo etch on, the instrument panel, the weapons, some oxygen tanks. Once all that's done, you put the fuselage together, and then you slot the cockpit in there. Okay. As you can see, there are different sections for this, for the tail. Okay, so the tail is a little bit elongated. It's got a little bit of a lip on the bottom. Before we then move on to doing the wheelbase, so a little bit of a strengthener in there. Moving across into putting those together, drilling out some holes for the bottom rack if you're using it. Some more oxygen tanks potentially going into the aircraft. Then we move to putting the tail planes together, and then mounting all that together with the wings, and don't forget to add nose weight for balance. Okay, which hopefully you should be able to fix that either in the nose and also in the float. Building the engine. Okay, there doesn't look like there's any sort of wiring harness on there, just the push rods, I think they are. Okay, before we then put that together, the bombs being added, and then building up this innovative way that Eduard decided to do the nose cone or the cowling ring. Okay, with a separate part that you don't glue in, and then you build it round that. And then you've got some fill marks on the wings, so we'll see if we can see those in a bit. So you've got a bottom and top. Before then we see about adding the actual float. Okay, so yeah, look, you'll be able to add quite a bit of weight into that front section of that float to help it stop being a tail sitter. The wing floats just there, and then adding them and the ladder to the actual aircraft. And then we've got the the propeller and the canopy before moving on to adding all that together, and then adding that to the actual trolley. So you get a trolley, so you can affix this to the trolley. So if you wanted to do it not in the water, okay, you can put it on in there. It tells you not to glue those parts together, okay, just in there. So then you end up with your aircraft in a trolley like so. And it's got a stand at the back, whether that's meant to be there or not, or whether it's just so to make sure you've got it all weighted correctly. Then we've got the canopy masks, the colour call outs for the trolley before we move into the colour call outs for the actual aircraft. So we've got August 1942 for A and B, one at the Solomon Islands, one is Aleutians, don't know if I pronounced that right, but you can see where this tail, okay, is elongated slightly longer, because normally it just come down, and these bits here. Then we've got the Shetland Island, February 1943, Shetland Island again, 1943, the darker green. Curlews, July 1943, and the Marshall Islands, October 43. And then we've got one actually from Japan, so Sasebo Air Base in Japan, 1944, September 1944, and then Molokai Islands, 1944, March 1944 for the final one. And then on to the stencil data. Alright, so these are all 2 sprues for each one, so we'll just do one and we'll get rid of one. So starting with the main fuselage, and you can see, as normal with Eduard kits, all that lovely detail you get on there. Okay, that's all the way around, all lovely recessed detail. Tailplanes, cowling ring, that part to help build the cowling, the top of the cowling for the guns, and the sides of the cowling just there. Again, absolutely beautiful detail. Next up, we have the floats, and you can see those floats there. Again, some really nice detail all around. The smaller floats to go on the wings, some small bombs just there. Next up, we have cockpit and engine parts. So really nice detail on the engine just there. Cockpit floor. And the undercarriage bulkhead strengthening bar. The rods, bulkheads for the cockpit. Some more parts for the cockpit. All really nicely done. The machine guns really nicely hollowed out. Okay, a little bit of flash on there that needs to be dealt with, but nothing to write home about. Next up, we have upper and lower wings. So again, really nicely done, and I know what those bits are. So those bits that need filling just here, they would be the hinges, because these on the normal carrier based fighter would fold up and down, so you don't need them on that. So that's going to be, yeah, you should be able to fill them in okay, but they're top and bottom. Probably use something like Dulux plastic putty Okay, again, lovely, refined detail all over this. And then the last grey sprue, okay, this has got the parts for that trolley, okay, just there, and that big main float just there. So all, again, all really nicely done. We then have 2 lots of clear parts. Obviously this is a dual combo. And up to Eduard's normal standard, some really nice detail throughout there, and really, really clear and well done. Two lots of photo etch. Okay, I'm not getting it out there. It's Eduard photo etch. Then we have a mask set. So for those that would be for the wheels on the trolley and for the canopy. Before we move on to the decals. Okay, and then we've got the decals. Okay, so newer type these, but the carrier film's not as bad as on some, other than the lettering. And again, these can be peeled off if you so wish, but I would look at maybe painting the roundels. There shouldn't be too much of an issue. There we are. So that's Eduard Rufe in 1/48. It looks absolutely a stunning kit. Not one that I'm looking to build soon, I don't think, but it's one I will definitely be looking at building probably next year, I would thought, unless anything else comes out and starts going in the way that, which it might do. But that's it. Okay, really nice kit, well worth it, and yeah, nice. It's nice. It's really nice. All right. Anyway, I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.